Hello, my name is Stephanie Bryan, and I'm the assistant manager here at the Woodcraft of Pittsburgh store. And today I'll be going over my carved eggs. So I always loved the painted eggs, but I didn't need another hobby, so I decided I would carve them instead. And my process is I start with some basswood eggs, plain. You can purchase these at carving supply stores. I divide them up and however I'm feeling, 4 divisions, 6 divisions, whatever. So I have these lovely templates that are made for painting eggs, but they work just fine for my wooden eggs as well. Then from there, I'll set them up in my little craft lathe here. And I have my little pencil holder. I set my pencil so it's about where the middle of the egg would be. And I find one of my little hash marks and I just draw my lines. And I keep doing that until I have a completely marked egg. And then from there, I will just start designing and drawing out what I want to carve. So when you're carving a non-flat surface, you have to be careful. And just remember that, the wood's going to behave differently depending on where you're working, because you've got the grain going in one direction, and in one spot you're going to be working on end grain, and the other spot you're going to be working on long grain. And then just remember that every chip is in a different direction, so you're going to be cutting on different directions. So sometimes you're going with the grain, sometimes you're going across the grain, and you just got to be mindful that something that works in the middle of an egg is not going to work at the end of an egg because of the difference in grain. So it just takes some patience and a little bit of practice and realizing that, like I said, where you are will determine how the wood behaves. And don't be, concerned if the chip doesn't pop out cleanly the first time around. You can always just carefully go back and clean it up a little bit. It's not the end of the world. And that's pretty much it. Once the egg is carved, I will stain them so I get a bunch of different lovely colors. And then I will put a lacquer or hard finish on top of that. I didn't bring my spraying stand today, but that's fun. So to do that, I just have a dowel with a pin stuck on the end, and I stick all my eggs on those, and I have a little board drilled with holes that I can put them in so they can dry without touching anything. That's it. That's how I carve my eggs.